If you want to kill fear, you must go to its source. Not the world, not the stage, not the challenge in front of you. Fear doesn't begin out there. It begins in here, in your thoughts, in invisible stories looping through your mind. Fear grows from untrained thinking, from accepting every whisper as truth, from letting your brain replay danger and doubt until hesitation feels natural. If you don't discipline your thoughts will discipline you. And when that happens, fear always wins. But you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them, the author, the architect. You choose what stays, what goes, what takes root. Every thought is a seed. Water fear, and you'll harvest hesitation. Water courage, and you'll harvest boldness. This isn't blind positivity. This is mental conditioning. Athletes train muscles. Soldiers train reflexes. Musicians train fingers. And you must train your mind with words that shape identity, with visions that pull you forward, with repetition that makes greatness feel familiar. Say it, believe it, act on it. I face fear and I move anyway. I expand. I rise. I endure. These aren't cliches. They are commands. And your subconscious is always listening. But thoughts alone aren't enough. Fear dies in movement. Discipline is a hammer that smashes hesitation. Because discipline removes debate. It silences negotiation. It makes action non-negotiable. The alarm rings. You rise. The task is hard. You do anyway. The voice of doubt whispers. You walk forward regardless. That's discipline. And discipline is what makes the fearless inevitable. Ask yourself this. Are you living by feeling or by principle? If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll wait forever. But if you live by principle, by daily rituals that force you into action, you won't just fight fear. You'll starve it. Start here. Each morning, do something uncomfortable. A cold shower. A hard conversation. A task you've been avoiding. Not because it's glamorous, but because it trains your nervous system. When your body learns discomfort won't kill you, fear loses its claws. Then move. Literally move. Run. Lift. Walk. Push. Because motion destroys stagnation. And stagnation is fear's breeding ground. A body in motion sparks a mind in motion. Next, speak life into your mind. Stand tall each day and declare who you are becoming. I do hard things. I don't shrink. I lead. Speak it, then live it. Because when your actions match your words, identity changes. When the first battle of the day, make your bed, finish the task, keep the promise, stack those victories, and momentum will crush fear before it has a chance to rise. Finally, reflect each night. Ask yourself, where did fear whisper? Where did I push back? This is how you sharpen the blade. This is how you become unshakable. Not by avoiding fear, but by walking into it daily until it breaks. Because fear will visit. It always does. But it only stays if you open the door. Picture this. You're lying on your deathbed moments from the end. Around you stand a ghost of every dream you never chased, every risk you never took, every version of yourself you could have been. And they ask one question. Why did you let fear decide for you? No one remembers the silent. No one honors the cautious. The world is moved by those who shook while they spoke, who trembled while they acted, who burned with fear, but walked anyway. Fear offers comfort. Legacy demands discomfort. Fear offers safety. Purpose demands sacrifice. You must choose. And if you choose fear, you bury your greatness alive. But if you choose action, you step into fire. You bleed, you sweat, you risk, and in return, you carve a legacy that roars long after you're gone. So ask yourself right now, what story will your life tell? Will it whisper of hesitation or thunder with courage? You don't need to know every step. You don't need to feel ready. You only need to refuse to let fear have the final word, because fear will always knock. But from this day forward, it doesn't get a vote. Not in your choices, not in your future, not in your legacy. This is the day fear dies. Not tomorrow, not someday, Now, stand tall, straighten your spine, look fear in the eye, thank it for the lessons, then shut the door, because you are done letting fear decide who you get to be. Fear is the greatest storyteller in your life. It doesn't come with facts, it comes with fiction. It spins lies so believable, so emotionally convincing, that you mistake them for truth. And the most dangerous lies fear tells are about you. It whispers you're not ready, not smart enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough. It says, if you try, you'll fail. If you speak, they'll laugh. If you chase the dream, you'll crash and burn. And because fear speaks in your own voice, you believe it. You accept it, never realizing it's just a story, not true, only familiar. Fear thrives inside imagination. It takes one seed of uncertainty and grows it into a nightmare. You don't just worry about a conversation going wrong. You imagine humiliation, rejection, permanent shame. You don't just hesitate to try something new. You see yourself failing publicly, eternally. Fear doesn't show you reality. It shows you a horror film you directed in your own head. And that's how fear wins. Not with truth, but with repetition. The more you rehearse the worst-case scenario, the more your nervous system accepts it as fact. Your heart races, your muscles tighten, your breath grows shallow. Suddenly you're not living in the present moment. You're trapped inside a future that hasn't even happened. In that prison, even the smallest step forward feels impossible. But here's the breakthrough. If fear is built by repetition, then confidence can be built the exact same way. If fear is a story you've told yourself, then courage is a story you can rewrite. Imagine a different film in your mind. One where you speak and people listen. One where you leap and you land. One where failure doesn't destroy you, but builds you. Because here's the science. The mind cannot distinguish imagination from memory. If you can visualize disaster, you can just as powerfully visualize victory. This is the real battlefield. Not out there, but in here, in the silent stories you tell yourself. The moment you stop repeating fear's script and start writing your own, you reclaim control. You don't have to feel brave to act brave. You don't have to feel certain to step forward. You just have to stop handing fear the microphone. Because the voice in your head is powerful, but it doesn't always speak truth. The biggest lie it tells is that fear is your limit. Fear is not the stop sign. Fear is a signal. It's the flag marking the edge of your growth. And growth always lives on the other side. Fear grows in darkness, in silence, in avoidance. The more you run from it, the larger it becomes. The more you try to outthink it, the louder it gets. Fear doesn't fade with time. Fear fades with exposure. Think about standing at the edge of a freezing pool. You can dip your toe in, shiver, step back, promise to return tomorrow. You can repeat that ritual 100 times, and it will still feel cold. It will still feel terrifying. But jump in, shock your system. In seconds, your body adapts. The fear evaporates. Why? Because you experience what your mind exaggerated. That's exposure. That's the cure. The first time you step forward is terrifying. The second time is uncomfortable. The 10th time is familiar. And the 100th time, it's freedom. The people you admire, the speakers, the leaders, the creators, the warriors, they didn't start fearless. They started trembling. The only difference is they refused to stay there. They built tolerance for discomfort. They didn't avoid the storm. They entered it again and again until the thunder lost its power. The truth is, fear never fully leaves, but it loses its grip. You stop flinching when it speaks. You stop shrinking when it rises. Because you face enough times to know, fear is just a sound, just a signal. It does not have the final word. You do. The only way out is through the trembling, through the failure, through the doubt, straight into the storm. Not because you are unafraid, but because you know the life you want, the life you're meant to live, waits on the other side. What if, starting tomorrow, fear had no voice in your life, not lowered for a moment, Not managed, tamed, or negotiated with. I mean gone, dead, erased. Picture it. You wake up without hesitation. You rise without that voice inside whispering you're not ready, not enough, not worthy. You move with certainty. You speak without trembling. You step into opportunities without second-guessing. What kind of doors would swing open for you? What kind of dreams would you finally chase with unstoppable fire? Because here's the truth. Fear isn't the enemy. Surrender is. Fear is natural. It's primal. It's biology keeping you alive. Fear whispers. Fear warns. But fear only wins when you obey it. Every time you shrink instead of stepping forward, you give up growth for safety. You trade power for comfort. You suffocate your own potential. Not because you're weak, but because fear convinced you that standing still meant survival. But today, we expose fear for what it is. A liar, a story, a shadow pretending to be real. And today, we bury it, not with shallow motivation or empty hype, but with truth, with discipline, with practice, with a purpose greater than your excuses. So take a deep breath, step forward, don't look back, because this is the day you kill fear. Let's be clear about something. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is instinct, ancient, built into your DNA. It has protected humanity for thousands of years. But fear was never meant to lead you. It was never supposed to be your counselor, your decision maker, your guide. Yet, most people let it drive the wheel. And then they wonder why life keeps going in circles. Fear rises whenever you step into the unfamiliar, whenever risk shows up, whenever comfort and control are threatened. That's not weakness. That's wiring. That's biology. But here's what most people never hear. Fear itself doesn't stop you. Inaction does. It's not the trembling you feel that kills your dream. It's the pause that follows, the hesitation, the delay, the opportunities you don't chase, the words you never speak, the vision you keep shelving for someday. Most people wait for fear to vanish before they move. They wait to feel brave. They wait to feel ready. But that day never comes. Because courage has never been the absence of fear. It's always been action taken in spite of it. The ones who build empires, who break industries, who carve their names into history, they feel fear too. But they step forward anyway. That's the edge. That's the shift. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to stop treating fear like it's your master. Fear can sit in the passenger seat. Fine, but it doesn't get to touch the wheel anymore. Here's the secret. The more you walk through fear, the smaller it gets. Each time you act in the middle of it, you retrain your brain. You teach yourself that fear doesn't mean stop. It means this matters. It means step up. It means you're close to something important. Repetition rewires reality. The more you confront fear head on, the less it controls you. You become someone fear cannot live inside, because you have trained your mind to act before fear has a chance to settle. So the next time fear rises in your chest, remember this. You don't need less fear. You need more movement. Don't negotiate. Don't analyze. Don't wait. Just move. Because fear hates momentum. And the very moment you act, fear begins to